Welcome back to my bizarre world where my router is currently encased in a harness, attached to the end of a windsurfing mast, suspended beneath a tripod made of 3 other windsurfing masts, and I'm about to carve out a radius dish of 15-foot radius used for sanding guitar braces and then clamping those braces to the back of a guitar. Now, the fact that I've published this video and you are watching it means I've survived, which is a bonus. So let's go and see how I get on. Got the board level that way, but it's just slightly high this way, so I'm going to raise this end. One turn there and one turn there. That looks good. And it's pretty much centred. We're ready to go. Proper safety precautions, make sure the lead is well out of the way. So let's see if this works. We'll see how small, we should just get a circle about this big. It's a little bit off centre. It's about yay much off centre. So I think I might move the board that way. Yeah. Let's do that. I'll measure it. Let's take it down another millimetre or so. I need to go about 10 millimetres deep. Yeah, that probably do. Yeah. I'm really pleased with that. That worked really well. Had a slightly dodgy moment when the tripod tried to fall over as I was putting it up. I got a little gust of wind on my initial forays, but once I realised the do's and don'ts of just being very careful and moving it very slowly, and of course once you got it lashed, it was solid. And I know it was really solid because I've got a perfect sphere, or the surface of a sphere. I have a perfectly spherical radius dish, and I will show you a little bit of mathematics in a moment that shows just that I have a spherical surface. I like mathematics. The only drawback to the results of this is I have a couple of little voids in the surface of the plywood. Where there's a knot in one place and then there's some actual gaps in the ply in another couple of places. In practice, that's actually not that much of a problem, because for using it as a sanding dish, for sanding bracing, stuff like that, that's not going to affect its ability to be used as a sanding dish. And as a clamping caul for clamping the back, well, in this case the back of the guitar, again, not really a problem, a void. The only problem would be if there were little prominences, but that's not an issue. Having said that, I might consider using MDF for my next dishes, because I've got to make some bigger ones, or shallower ones, 25 feet and 40 feet. And I almost hate myself for using imperial, but these are the figures that are quoted for typical guitar designs, because they're all American. Martin. I don't like using MDF, but I may give it a go. Once you cut the surface of MDF away, you get this horrible soft pulpy interior which just doesn't wear well. Maybe with a coat of varnish it might be okay, but I'm not a fan of MDF, and of course it's toxic as well, although the next method I'm going to use, I'll be able to use dust extraction, so it might not be too bad, and I'm going to have to do it indoors. So we'll have to see. The drawback of this method for me is it doesn't scale. I can't create a tripod high enough to create a 25 feet or 40 feet radius dish. If you have a very high apex roof in a warehouse or somewhere in your workshop, or if you've got a stairwell, something like that, where you can firmly anchor the pivot point, then this does scale, and it scales quite well. And the beauty of it is it's mathematically perfect. Even if you don't get the surface that you're carving absolutely flat, it's still going to carve out the surface of a sphere onto your wood. It might just carve it not quite where you're expecting. It might be off to the side somewhere because you didn't have the piece flat. But all that's happened is the whole thing's been rotated, and you're still carving out a sphere, even if it's on a slightly different part of the wood. Although I would recommend having a flat surface to start off with. It's a lot easier. Yeah, so I know that my pivot didn't move. This method was good because this is a sphere. There are no flat spots on it. If the pivot had moved, you'd end up with a flat spot in the middle as the pivot moves. Yeah, but I haven't got that, and I will show you why. It is the property of a sphere, in this case the inside of a sphere, that no matter where you slice through that sphere, the surface you get left with describes a perfect circle. The edge of the area is a perfect circle. And so you can use that property to test your surface by effectively slicing through the surface using a household object, which is a perfect circle. Best not to use ceramic because they tend to have a slight distortion in them. This is plastic. You just need something that when you place it on a flat surface is completely flat. This edge needs to be on a plane. And once you've got that, if you can place it anywhere on your surface and you get no wobble whatsoever, you know that the surface you're placing on is a perfect sphere. the inside of a sphere, because you're effectively slicing through the sphere every time you place this down, and the edge is all in a plane and is a perfect circle. So that proves that our dish is true. Result. That's it. Go hit like, subscribe, ring my bell, you know, that little bell icon thingy, whatever it is, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye.